You know that feeling when you step into the lobby of a truly world-class luxury hotel? You instantly feel it, right? That atmosphere of just effortless perfection. Well, as we know, what feels totally effortless to the guest is actually the result of some incredibly rigorous, highly structured design behind the scenes. So in today's explainer, we're going to unpack exactly that, the anatomy of excellence in hospitality operations.
Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. It is honestly such a privilege to guide you through the sophisticated frameworks that elevate a simple overnight stay into a truly unforgettable brand experience. All right, so here is our roadmap for today's session. We're going to cover 1. The foundation of excellence. 2. Balancing KPIs and warmth. 3. Shaping behavioral expectations. And 4. Communication and brand alignment. Let's dive right in. Section 1. The foundation of excellence. We're talking about translating brand promises. Modern hospitality is honestly this beautiful mix of strategic science and human art. And here at Europe Hotel School London, you learn pretty quickly that service standards, they aren't just some dusty employee rulebook. They are the absolute bedrock upon which all your performance management and guest satisfaction are built. Think of them as the direct translation of your brand's biggest promises into observable behaviors and measurable outcomes. Strategic human resource management is what ensures these standards are clearly articulated, consistently applied, and perfectly aligned with your core values. Because without that foundation, even the most gorgeous hotel is literally just a building. Moving on to Section 2, balancing KPIs and warmth. Let's look at the actual metrics of hospitality.
So this is where we transition from the philosophy of service to the hard, measurable data. A successful hotel operator really has to juggle two distinct areas. On one hand, you have your quantitative metrics. This is your pure efficiency, things like occupancy rates, RevPAR, or exactly how many minutes it takes to check a guest in. It's the numerical heartbeat of the business. On the other hand, you have your qualitative indicators. This represents the warmth of the service. We're talking guest satisfaction scores, online reviews, direct feedback. And to be a great leader, you have to be totally fluent in reading both sides of this equation. And that brings us to the ultimate operational challenge, making sure that efficiency doesn't completely overshadow that service warmth. It's the central dramatic tension in hospitality, really. Yes, tracking an average check-in time of under 3 minutes is an amazing efficiency KPI. But if rushing to hit that 3-minute target means your front desk agent doesn't even make eye contact, smile, or offer a genuine welcome, well, you've completely failed the qualitative metric. Speed can never, ever come at the expense of making a guest feel genuinely valued. Which brings us to Section 3, shaping behavioral expectations. This is all about the human element. We've got our standards and our metrics, but how do employee behaviors actually breathe life into them? Well, core organizational values, things like respect, professionalism, teamwork, empathy, and ownership, they provide a really vivid blueprint. They spell out exactly how employees should be interacting with guests and with each other. A KPI just tells you a task got done. Behavioral expectations dictate the actual spirit in which that task was performed. Let's anchor this in a real-world scenario. Imagine a guest comes to the front desk and they are really upset because their room is right next to a noisy elevator. How your staff responds in this exact moment is everything. An employee who is guided by, say, empathy and ownership, they don't just process a room change like a transaction. No way. They actively listen, they validate that frustration, they apologize sincerely, and they personally make sure the new room is absolutely perfect. They own it. And suddenly, you've just turned a service failure into a moment of incredibly powerful brand loyalty. All right, our final part, Section 4, communication and brand alignment. Implementing these standards. So how do we take everything we've just talked about and actually make it happen seamlessly on the hotel floor? It takes a massive multi-departmental effort across 3 critical leadership areas. Step 1 is human resources, because they recruit and train for the specific behaviors you want. Step 2 is operations, the managers who are actually executing and tracking those KPIs every single day. And step 3 is brand leadership, the folks defining the overarching vision. If any one of these 3 pillars is operating in a silo, the whole service standard just fractures.
And there's a real danger if you get this wrong. Finding the right balance is incredibly delicate. On one extreme, if your standards are way too rigid, you're going to completely demotivate your staff. You basically turn passionate hospitality pros into robots reading a script. But on the flip side, if your guidelines are too vague, you're inviting total operational chaos and wildly inconsistent service. The sweet spot is providing a really strong, clear framework that still allows an employee's genuine personality and warmth to shine through. So how do we actually make sure these standards stick every single day? Communication is everything here. Your employees need to know the standards, sure, but they have to deeply understand the why behind them. Why does this tiny specific action matter to the guest? You achieve this through ongoing training, having supervisors constantly role modeling the right behaviors because teams always emulate their leaders, and by giving daily constructive feedback. When you get all of these elements, your standards, your KPIs, and your behavioral expectations perfectly aligned, it is literal magic on the operational floor. That alignment gives your team absolute clarity. They act with total confidence because they know exactly what's expected of them. And that confidence translates directly into premium, consistent service delivery, which ultimately solidifies your hotel's brand in a really competitive market. I want to wrap up this explainer by leaving you, the future hospitality leaders of Europe Hotel School, with something provocative to really chew on as you build your careers. Ask yourself this final question. Are your standards actually building a brand, or are they just measuring a transaction? Honestly, how you answer that is going to define the kind of leader you become and the caliber of the properties you'll manage one day. Thank you so much for joining me on this learning journey, and I wish you exceptional success in your hospitality careers.